Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Taylor and I'm so happy to have you here. In today's video, I have a mobile home dining room makeover. It is a huge and much needed transformation and I am so excited to be able to finally share it with y'all. This makeover took a little longer than expected, but it was well worth the wait and I absolutely love it. Make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe and also leave a comment so I can say hello. Now with all that being said, let's get at it and get it done. Here's a quick before of the table. I decided to paint it because it was very scratched up and I wanted a new look for the dining room. So first I'm going to take the legs off of the table and sand it to create a smooth finish so the paint will adhere properly.
Night, riding on the dizzying heights.
I'm going to go in with an 80 grit sandpaper first to remove most of the finish, and then you'll see a little later on that I use a 120 grit to kind of smooth everything out.
Sunsets, remember the colors, they were wrong, it was way more than a dream. We climbed up, yeah, over the hillside, so right, we stood there all wide-eyed, you and I, floating on air in my mind, no going back, no going back. There's no going back to your old life. Not living in the past, we're over that. I'm feeling it.
Now that the table is all sanded, I'm going to clean it with a cloth and some water just so I don't bring all that dust back inside. And you'll also see in the next few clips my mama and me had a hard time picking the table up because this thing is heavy. It came from World Market and I believe it's a concrete base because it was a nightmare to pick up.
What if you pick it up and then I pull? What if I pick it up? I couldn't even pick it up when you helping. That's not gonna work. Just lift it. Taylor, if you think it's so easy, you just lift it. My lifter's not lifting. The lifter's not. Watch this. You're gonna break it. I keep walking around. I can switch it to sides. The hell, bro! Okay, come on, bro. Okay, are you ready for this? Let's just do it. We can do this. I tried, but I'm ready. Well, I hurt my shoulder. What if we pick from the bottom? Ready, set? I guess. One, two, go. Oh, I had my lifted up. You didn't. Well, I said one, two, go. And I had it lifted up. I pulled my muscle under my arm. I wasn't holding on yet. You gotta let me. I'm ready. One, two, get in position. And then you go. I'm gonna do it real fast. Go. I'm sorry. Ready? Not really. I don't want to do this anymore. All right. 1, 2, go. My shoulder. Drop it. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, yes, I did it.
This is what the dining room walls were looking like. My dad had slowly been patching the walls with drywall for a while now, so now that he is finished, he's going to sand them so we can start painting.
There's no going back to your old life. Not living in the past, we're over that. I'm feeling it tonight, riding on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. Standing on the dizzying heights. Everything
I'm going to lay out some plastic drop cloths to protect the floors, but I do not recommend using this type because it kept moving everywhere and it didn't protect the floors hardly at all. So in my next makeover, I will be using the paper drop cloth instead. Since we're going to be painting the walls, the ceiling, the trim, pretty much everything in the dining room, I wanted to make sure it was clean and free of dust. So I'm just using my e-cloth mop without any water on it, just to kind of dust everything and get everything really clean.
You tore down my walls. I wish I could go back to right before you told me I'd try to change it all. But look at us now, could have gone so far.
I'm going to start painting the ceiling first, and I'm using the Behr interior ceiling flat paint from Home Depot in ultra pure white. I decided to use Behr because I was very impressed with the quality and performance of their concrete stain that I used for the front porch makeover. So if you haven't seen that makeover, I will leave it linked in the description box below, so make sure to check it out because it is such a huge transformation.
I just know things will never be the same. We're like strangers again.
Now onto the second coat for the ceiling. My mama is rolling it while I cut it in.
Could have tried much harder. Now all we have are scars. You said we'd get so high.
We ended up replacing the ceiling fan because this one was very old and we wanted one that would look a little more modern and minimal.
Gone so far, it hurts to breathe.
Okay, so this is the fan that my dad put up, and we ended up taking it down and replacing it a little later on in the video because the quality of this fan was not that great. So I am glad that we returned it and got another one because I absolutely love the new one and it is great quality.
We're like strangers again. I just know things will never.
Here my dad is caulking the baseboards, and I'm so glad that he did this because now it looks very neat and professional. Sometimes it's the small details that make such a huge difference when you're doing a makeover. We ended up using 3 coats of paint on the ceiling, so while my dad does the 3rd coat of paint on the ceiling, I'm going to start cutting in the walls.
Had to, I'll try to forget you. Just didn't think we'd end up this way, like strangers again.
This is the paint that we are using on the walls. It is the Behr Ultra Scuff Defense in ultra pure white. Eventually the whole house is going to be painted this color, so we went ahead and got the 5-gallon bucket. With white paint, you want to make sure that the ceiling, the trim, and the walls are all the same shade, but different finishes. If not, you can definitely tell a difference. In my room and in my son's room, I used a different color of white on the walls and a different shade on the ceiling, and I do not like it, so eventually the whole house will all be the same and cohesive. And white is a tricky paint color because sometimes it can pull really yellow or really blue, but I'm really impressed with this ultra pure white. I think it's very crisp and fresh, and I just wanted the whole house to be a really pretty bright, clean, and fresh white. I put a lot of research into what shade I wanted to use because I knew I wanted to stick with Behr for the brand, so I literally searched brightest white paint for walls, and this is one of the first things that popped up, and it is supposed to be one of the brightest white paints on the market because it has a LRV, which stands for light reflectance value, which measures how bright a color is. So this is a 94 on the scale, where the color on my walls in my room is a LRV of 84. So this ultra pure white is exactly what I was looking for.
If it gets too dark, I'll be your light.
Like right here, this was the old color of trim, so you can definitely see how different it is. So we're going to be using the same shade of white. We just did a flat ceiling, and then we did This is satin on the walls, and then the trim is gonna be a semi-gloss. So it's all the same shade, it's just gonna be different finishes. That way, all the white just flows together that way. Buster, what you think? He says, I'm going in the kitchen. And y'all can also tell right here how the door is. It's just completely different shades and the trim. So once everything is the same shade of white, it's gonna look so good. So clean, so pretty. And I'm only bringing it right here in the kitchen. So just cutting it off right there and then just doing this wall because the kitchen's gonna be a completely different makeover. So this way it's not like completely sticking out like a sore thumb until I can do the kitchen makeover. Now that the first coat is completely dry, we're gonna go in with a second coat.
I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, yeah, I can carry all that you've got. Two heavy hearts is not a lie. I will put out all of the fire. We stumble and fall. And it's not a lie that I die. I can hide what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning in those blue eyes, and you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark. I'll be your light. Be your light.
It's looking so pretty. I did notice a few spots on the wall, so I decided to go in with one more coat.
I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I am running for you. I am running.
Now my mama is starting on the trim, working on the window frame, and a bonus Elvis concert for y'all. Enjoy!
Call that a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Why can't we see? What you do with my baby?
If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Your light. I'll be your light.
So now my dad is just working on the upper trim, and can we just brag on him for a moment, because he literally hates to paint so much. That's like one of his least favorite things to do, but he does such a great job at painting, and he worked really hard during this makeover. So I am so thankful for him for doing that, because I couldn't have done all this without him, and it turned out great. So thank you, Daddy, so much. You did such a great job, and thank you again. And not to mention, I was terrified to do what he's doing right now, painting that little hallway thingy. Oh my goodness, I was scared I was gonna like flip off the ladder. So I am so glad that he did that, because I would have probably ended up in the hospital. And y'all already know what my mama does on a ladder, so she definitely needs to stay away from them, because if y'all watch my front porch makeover, she was like dangling off the ladder, scaring me. So yeah, I'm very thankful that my dad did it the right way. Alrighty, now it's time to paint the table. I'm using the Magnolia Home chalk paint by KILZ in base 1, which is just a bright white. I was so excited to finally paint the table, and I have no idea what I'm doing right here. I was just being a little wackadoodle.
I wanna be there, won't you be mine? Take down your
So now it's the next day, and I ended up putting 2 coats on the night before, and then I'm just putting a 3rd coat on to make sure everything is covered. So my daddy was determined on doing the polyacrylic, which I'm kind of glad that he did, because I was just going to roll it on there, but apparently you have to use a brush like he's doing. So I'm glad that he did it because it looks so good and smooth, and I know it's going to be very well protected. After each layer of polyacrylic, you want to make sure to sand it before you put the next layer on. So here my dad is just doing that before he puts the final layer on. And he also used the entire can of the polyacrylic, and I believe it was the quart size. I'll leave everything linked in the description box below.
What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll.
My dad needs an applause just for having to deal with this whole fan debacle. So now that he took that fan down, we are going to return that one because it was not great quality. The one that he's putting up now is the new one, and I absolutely love it. I'll leave it linked in the description box below. The other one I do not recommend. Like I said, the quality just wasn't there, and it left like a ring type of thing spinning around on the top of it, and the lighting was horrible. But this fan right here, I love it. You can change the light to 3 settings. The fan is great, and it's what I wanted in here, so I'm glad that I was able to find this one. So now let's test this puppy out.
What if I lost touch? What if I.
Now my dad is going to install the shades in the dining room. I knew going into this makeover that I did not want any curtains. I'm not a huge fan of curtains in general. I prefer cordless shades because I feel like they really open the space up a lot more, and for some reason having a lot of curtains makes me feel really claustrophobic. This is what they look like, and I am completely in love with them. I got them on Amazon for such a great deal compared to some of the ones that I was looking at online. These are literally half the price. I'll make sure to leave everything linked in the description box below. We also replaced the smoke alarm, the outlet plate covers, and the baseboard diffusers.
You will find a way, slow it down, dreams still yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes.
Now it's time to decorate. When I come across this poster online, I fell in love with it because it is such a statement piece. My mom and I came across some pictures on Etsy, and we fell in love with them, and we knew it was exactly what we wanted. They were a little over budget, so to save money, I decided to frame and mat the photos myself. So I got 3 16x20 frames from Target, some white pre-cut mats on Amazon, and I also picked up some acid-free tape from Hobby Lobby. It was super easy to do, and it made the project much more budget friendly.
Out on the roof, here with you, it all seems so distant. With you, under street lights, right next to the skyline. With you, yeah. I've been a cynic for so many of my days. Now you just my maker, believer out of me, 'cause you look so pretty in the sunrise.
Instead of using nails to hang the pictures, I'm just going to go in with my trusty command strips. I'm hanging up the poster and I love it so much. It's a daily reminder that I have absolutely seen the goodness of God. I'm going to use some tacky putty to put on the banner behind the poster. That way when the door opens and closes, it won't be moving around everywhere. I'm using these extremely strong Scotch fasteners to hang the remote on the light plate switch. That way everything is located in one place. For the table, I wanted to keep it simple and add some color with a live plant that I got from Home Depot, and I got the planter from Michael's. I found these placemats and coasters on Amazon, and I love the cool gray color and I like the texture. It's almost like a felt, but it gives that minimal Scandinavian Nordic feel that I was wanting. Now to add some color into the room, I'm going to use this beautiful live plant. I believe it's a white bird of paradise. My mom found it on Marketplace and I really like how it looks. And I just couldn't resist putting this cute little mouse that I got from Hobby Lobby. I had thought about just keeping only the poster on this wall since it's such a statement piece, but I felt like the room was missing that cozy, welcoming feel since this room is set up as the front door entrance and dining room, so I decided on this bench from Studio McGee at Target, and I love the natural wood and how it's different from your standard bench. Now I'm just going to add this pillow that I had decluttered from my son's room when I did his room makeover, so if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave it linked in the description box below. I wanted to show y'all a quick overview of the before we get to the final reveal. And here is the final reveal. I love it so much. It turned out exactly how I wanted. I love the bright white walls. The table looks brand new. The decor is intentional and very streamlined. I was going for a minimal Scandinavian Nordic type of style, and I feel like I definitely achieved that look. I also wanted to say thank you again to my dad and mom for all their hard work during this makeover. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thank y'all so much for watching and for all of your support. I really appreciate and love each and every single one of you. This makeover was definitely a huge transformation, and I can't wait to make over the rest of the house. So if you enjoyed this makeover, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe and turn the notification bell on so you never miss out on a new video. I post all kinds of cleaning motivation, makeovers on a budget, and more. I am also on Instagram now, and I would love to interact with y'all on there, so I'll make sure to leave it linked below. I will see y'all in my next video. Bye y'all!